people bring up slavery as an issue, but you can look at the appeasement. The North was not trying to free the slaves. The North was trying to preserve the Union so that they could preserve their economic hegemony, which was clear. The Corwin Amendment was passed. It was introduced by two Northerners, one from Ohio, one from New York, which stated that it made a constitutional amendment that the federal government would not involve in the state's industry, including labor, which included slavery, that they were not going to abolish slavery. They were going to leave that institution in place. And this was passed, but it wasn't ratified because the southern states wouldn't ratify it. They seceded from the Union, so they couldn't vote on it. Now, in the Union's opinion, they were still part of the United States and weren't allowed to secede. So even though the Congress had passed it, to get a constitutional amendment, it has to be ratified by the states, and the southern states didn't ratify it. But Lincoln tried. He personally wrote the governors of each state letters saying, here's this amendment. We're not going to oppose slavery. You can keep your slaves. And the South seceded anyway, because that was never why they were seceding to begin with. The tariff policy was the main reason, and offering them to keep their slaves didn't matter. I mean, they had a constitutional amendment already passed. All they had to do was ratify it. They could have kept every single one of their slaves, and there was still a civil war, and they still seceded. Not one single state took that deal.
Which is an important point, because offering to enshrine slavery in the Constitution, which is what the Corwin Amendment did, if the states were concerned, if the southern states were primarily concerned about preserving this institution of slavery, they would have taken that deal, and they didn't. Obviously, there were other concerns.